Hello and welcome to Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. Welcome to your week ahead TarotScopes. We are doing the week of the 18th to the 24th of September 2023. And this week I have got two amazing decks on the table with me. The first deck I have is the Signs of the Times Oracle, and the tarot that I'm using this week is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Hey Claire, how you doing? Nice to have you join me. So let's move the tarot out of the way and let's get shuffling on our oracle for air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And as I shuffle the Signs of the Times Oracle, we're asking Spirit to join us. We're asking Spirit to draw near. We're asking Spirit to guide this reading this afternoon for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, for those that are watching live and for those that are watching later. So what is in store for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for the week ahead? What is the energy? What is the vibe? What will the focus be for the week ahead for all air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius? I need to do one more shuffle and then we will cut the deck and pick a card. All right. There we have our one card for all air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So let's see what is in store for you for the week ahead. And the card we have is card number 5. It is the card of mountains and obstacles. Mountains and obstacles. Now, I mean, first of all, I think this is just such a beautiful view. I would love to be driving on this road, you know, in and amongst these snow-capped mountains with these forests on either side of the road, etc. But, you know, ordinarily, if you look at this, like how do we get to the other side of this? It becomes quite overwhelming, doesn't it? This mountain has now become this huge big obstacle because it is in the way. But if we have a look just at the end here, so our road goes and then suddenly it turns and it goes around. So I'm going to leave the card over there. And while I talk about mountains and obstacles, I'm going to give our tarot a shuffle. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, we have mountains, we have obstacles. And you know what? That's life, isn't it? Life is full of mountains and obstacles. Some mountains are small, some mountains are huge, some are snow-capped, some are not. Mountains can be, I want to say mountains can be dressed differently. Mountains can look different. Mountains can appear different, you know, and take on many different shapes and forms. But life is full of these obstacles that get in the way. And what we have to do is we have to be creative in the way that we find solutions to being in that moment, to dealing with the mountain. So you're going to find air signs this week that you're going to have many mountains to climb. You're going to have many mountains to overcome, okay? And overcoming the mountain doesn't mean flattening it. Overcoming in a mountain doesn't mean squashing it, flattening it so that you can continue. Overcoming a challenge or an obstacle, working around a mountain is exactly that, working around it, going around it, finding a way to either go over it, to go under it, or to go around it. Because sometimes we have to accept that mountains are mountains. Sometimes we have to accept that, you know, a mountain is an immovable object. A mountain is something that's not going to go away. And you on your own can't do anything about said mountain. You know, the mountain is there to stay. It's been there longer than you or I and will continue to live longer than you or I. So the mountain itself is not going away. So trying to overcome the mountain, trying to eradicate the mountain is an impossible task that's not going to get you anywhere. So really speaking, what you need to do is you need to find a way to work around the mountain, either by going over it, through a tunnel under it, or just snaking around it. Sometimes roads will even take you in a circular motion all the way up to the top of the mountain, if that is where you need to be. So it's about being creative in the way that you tackle the challenges and obstacles that present themselves to you this week. So air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, there are going to be mountains. Let's see how you handle them. So tarot has been shuffled and cut. Let's lay out the cards to get the insight. So the first card we have is the King of Cups. Second card we have is the Four of Swords. And our last card that we have is the card of the moon. All right, moving tarot cards out of the way, let's have a look. So air signs, we have the King of Cups. He is in control of his emotions, okay? Just in a very simple, because King is control and dominance, Cups is emotions and feelings. So he's very much in control of his emotions. And he's telling you, while you're facing these mountains, while you're facing these obstacles, you need to stay in control of your emotions. We also have the Four of Swords. And this is quite interesting because this is very much an active kind of situation here. Okay. The mountain is there. We need to get past it. We need to get around it. We need to get over it. We need to get away from it, which is very much an active kind of energy. But then we get the Four of Swords, which is the opposite of action. The Four of Swords is the card of inaction. So there she is hanging, hovering, lying, resting in the crescent moon, and things are falling, feathers are falling around her, but she's not reacting, she's not responding. She's sort of waiting for the perfect moment before she jumps up into action. So here we have control of our emotions, and we have inaction, stillness. We also have the card of the moon. So air signs. The moon is the card that, or the moon is the thing that creates shadows. The moon is the thing that makes things look a little bit different. If you've driven a road every day of your life in the daytime, and then the first time you drive it in the nighttime, it looks different. Like you look at this road and you go like, is this the same road? Because everything looks different by moonlight. But the moon, as I said, it does cast shadows. And when the moon casts shadows, it makes us face our deepest fears because we tend to imagine the worst hiding in those shadows, don't we? We tend to imagine the big, scary monsters hiding in the shadows under the bed. But when we actually find the courage and the confidence to look under the bed, we realize, oh, it's actually not a monster. It's just a little beetle or whatever it may be. Okay, so when I look at these, Spirit's saying to you, this week, you are going to have to face some mountains and some obstacles. It's not going to be an easy road. You're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to think outside the box, but you're going to have to find ways of overcoming an immovable, solid, massive thing that's not getting out of your way. All right? That is fact. King of Cups is telling you to keep your emotions about you. Do not allow yourself to get all upset, anxious, nervous, worried, concerned, or whatever it is. Do not allow the emotions to affect or to influence the way that you tackle the obstacles this week. Sometimes it's about choosing the right moment to react. Because think about it, this road is still quite far from the mountain. There is still a journey to go before we actually reach the said obstacle. So if we now, at this point, when we are maybe, and I'm just going to use a number, 1 kilometer away from the mountain, if you are that far away from the mountain and you start trying to build a bridge and build a ramp and work solutions, you're making it more difficult for yourself because the problem's not there yet. We can see the problem coming. Great. But you don't need to start immediately. Sometimes waiting until you're actually there to really assess the situation will actually make the solution a lot easier. So Four of Swords is telling you, you will react, you will respond, you will do something, but you don't have to be doing something all the time. Keep your emotions under control, because when your emotions start running away with you, we suddenly feel like, oh, I must do something. I must do something. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, this week, you're going to have to find the balance with yourself of when to continue moving, when to allow your emotions to express themselves, and when to actually jump into action. Because there is a fine line between all of that. Fine line between too soon, too late, or not enough. And that's what these cards are saying to us. This last card. So as I said to you, with the moon card, she is the thing that casts shadows. And when we have shadows, we always fear the worst. We always expect the worst. The moon card is the card of trusting yourself, digging deep to find your courage, digging deep to find your conviction, to face the challenges, the obstacles that you need to face. The moon card is also the card that says to you that when you have found your courage, you'll be amazed at how easy the road is, the journey is, the experience is. So keeping our emotions in control, knowing when is the right time to react and to respond, facing our deepest fears, because when we see an obstacle, even though it's so far away, we immediately, I think it's just human nature that we jump into this whole thing of, oh my gosh, can I do this? Am I able to do this? Will I get it right? Will I be able to? And we jump into that whole analysis paralysis kind of situation, don't we? And instead of waiting until we get there and then assess the situation and determine, right, how are we going to tackle this obstacle? So the moon is telling you, deal with it when you're actually facing it. Do not allow your emotions to tell you you're never going to get over that mountain. You're never going to get around that mountain. That mountain is too big for you. You can't do it. Your car's not going to, like, blah, 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 blah. We can come up with so many excuses, but actually, if you just follow the road, you can see that the road automatically curves and takes you around the mountain. It might be a longer route. It might be it might add an extra hour onto your journey, but that's okay. At the end of the day, you're going to get around the mountain. And that's all that matters, is that you get around the obstacle, that you overcome it. But you are going to have to dig deep within yourself. But also to know that you mustn't jump into gear too quickly, too soon. Keep your emotions in control and you are going to be just fine. So air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, I do wish you an amazing week ahead. I do wish you a week of easy, simple obstacles that you find easy, simple ways to overcome. As always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care, air signs.